Hi, Professor Boyan. My name is Jeffrey Yeom, and I just want to thank you for this course and what it all entailed. I'm just going to jump right into what I thought career counseling was before, and I definitely didn't know a whole lot. I just thought it was one of those things where a client comes in, they ask the counselor for a job, and the counselor provides that for them. So, almost like a more personable Indeed website or a Monster. But after taking this course, I have a newfound respect for it. This career field or this counseling field really looks at the whole being of clients. They embrace the fullness and the wholeness of clients as every mental health field should. And that really blew me away. I didn't think that career had a lot to do with encompassing the whole being, but it definitely does in order to do the work that they want to do. And so, in order to help our clients when they walk into our office, specifically for this presentation and for my paper, I used three different theories. One of which is the career diamond. The second one is Crumbold's theory of social learning. And then the third theory is Savika's theory of adaptability. Starting off with the career diamond, you have a literal diamond. It goes from point A to creating a vision, and then to get to point C, which is creating or making a career decision for the client. And it's a literal image of a diamond. What's great about this theory is that it visually shows our client the progression that they are making while in career counseling. And so you go from an exploring phase to creating a vision, and then you go into an integration phase to then be able to make a wise decision on what career. But again, the exploration phase is more than just helping a client find a job. It looks at exploring the self-concept. So you look at the abilities, the interests, and values of a client, but Andersen and Vandehey also say to encompass the whole being. So don't just look at the abilities, don't just look at their interests, don't just look at their values, look at everything else that encompasses their whole being, their behaviors, the way that they make decisions. Explore that so that the client can develop a self-awareness that has come so much farther than where they were before, rather than just kind of like making a decision. They think, oh, these are the things I need to consider before I do this, before I create a vision for myself, let alone. And then within that exploration phase, you also have expanding the external awareness. So you look at developing occupational information. You find out what other opportunities are there in this economy for that client, so that way they're not just blindly going in and saying, oh, I want to work at this career, but then not know everything that it comes with, all the perks or the things that this person specifically might struggle with because it doesn't fit. And they're not aware of that. So then it creates this cycle of coming back to not knowing what they want to do and what they want or how they're going to make their next decision. So then you create a vision or you help the client create a vision for themselves, and then you move into the integration phase where you apply their self-awareness knowledge or their self-concept knowledge, and then you connect that, you correlate that with the external factors that they've learned about the economy and the certain economic jobs that they're looking at, and then they can be able to come to making a career decision. So the second theory that I want to incorporate is Crumbold's social learning theory. And this one is not as extensive as the career diamond theory, and it doesn't give a visual of the progression that the client is making. However, the combination of the two, I think, would create a very successful experience for the client when they walk in. So basically, this theory encourages clients with the facilitation of the counselor to learn new behaviors, attitudes, beliefs that are somewhat according to the client's self-determined goals. And they're just healthy alternatives for the client in order to be able to make those decisions that they want to make. The ultimate goal of this theory is for individuals to gain a sense of self and to be able to observe their own attitudes, beliefs, and values, how they make decisions, to look at their cultural background, all that, It creates that opportunity for them to be able to do that on their own. But starting off, again, that counselor facilitates that change that clients need to make in order to be more successful. And so the third and final theory that I want to talk about in this paper, in this presentation, and to hopefully incorporate into my future practice is Savika's theory of adaptability. Basically, he says adaptability is the key to success, and he stresses the importance of being adaptable. And the reason why he says that is because we always need to develop positive coping mechanisms, coping strategies in order to, in my terms, in what I would call, in order to get with the economy. And so therefore, if you look at it from just layman's terms, if you look at somebody who is trying to make decisions and they don't develop these coping strategies, but the economy is always changing, then that person is bound to get stuck somewhere. So they come to counseling, and hopefully that all career counselors will be able to provide some sort of coping strategy for that. Savika says to be successful, clients need to deal with the work demands of their environment with the right attitude in order to maintain a locus sense of control for the individual with the changing, I guess, external demands of their job or their current field. Clients must develop a very high self-esteem and self-efficacy in order to do that. I also wanted to add on to Savika's theory of adaptability. This is not Savika's per se, but I thought it would be helpful to expand on that knowledge of adaptability. And so these two theories, the person-environment correspondence theory, the PEC theory, or the TWD theory of work adjustment, talk about again, the importance of being adaptable, but also what it means to learn how to positively change the environment that the client is in. With these three theories in mind, the career diamond theory, the social learning theory, and the theory of adaptability, we look at the importance of career development or career services for clients. And when we look at our society, the reason why career counseling is so important is because people define themselves by their identity. The job that they have determines their income. The job that they have determines who they are as a person. It also determines status in our society. And I personally don't think that we should define our lives around our career, but people are bound to do it anyways. It's what they hold on to. And the reason, again, why career counseling is so important is because people have that identity about themselves, but they also don't have the healthiest coping mechanisms. They don't have the right attitude, the right values in order to go about making these decisions or in order to switch from a career to another career. I know that I want to be in the counseling profession, and so outside of that idea, the personal takeaways that I have from each theory is that I want to constantly be aware of myself and how to incorporate that with the external changing world. I definitely want to learn how to consistently be adaptable and what it takes to continue to learn new positive and successful behaviors in order to cope with this changing world. Finally, the three most useful things that I've learned in career counseling is the idea that career counseling, you don't just look at one thing, you encompass the whole being of the client. Two, there is a perspective of understanding what career means. So understanding that career has this, it takes a huge precedence on people's lives, and that people define their lives around their career. That's why career counseling is so important. So knowing that fact is really important. And then lastly, career development. What's really incredible about it is that it's always changing. It's very dynamic, and that's because our world, our society, and the economy is constantly changing. So we as counselors need to help our clients develop those behaviors that they need to know, develop those positive attitudes, beliefs they need to know in order to make that successful career change. Thank you so much, and hope you have a great rest of your summer, Professor Boyne. Thank you.